intense battle between Sakamoto and the anchor-wielding Aari continues in this chapter, and we're now going to witness how this legendary assassin deals with this foe. On the other hand, now that Ando's group has discovered Sakamoto's affiliation with the Order, what steps will they take to stop one of JAA's most formidable hitmen? Let's find out. We continue the story in Chapter 200, titled Bubbles. When Aari heard that Sakamoto was from the Order, he explained that the older guys always tell him that if you defy the JAA, he should watch out for the Order. However, he hadn't expected to encounter a youngster like Sakamoto. Following this, Aari immediately launched another anchor smash attack towards Sakamoto, who managed to dodge it while running closer to his opponent. Sakamoto then jumped, and as a countermeasure, Aari pulled the chains, causing them to wrap around his body. Aari then dragged him into the pool, where it was revealed that the chains were anchored to the bottom part of the pool ladder. He tried to cut through them, but noticed they were made of a special alloy that was difficult to break. Aari swam toward him, thinking the capture was complete, and quickly rushed in to deliver a right straight punch. Aari began explaining that the average human can hold their breath underwater for 1 minute. He said they would see whether Sakamoto would die from drowning first, or from his barrage of punches. While this was happening, let's shift to Shin's situation as he followed his father, Ando. When he called him Dad, Ando responded irritably, asking what he wanted again. He asked if it was true that there was a C4 bomb in the engine bay below, which caught Ando's attention. Ando recalled what he had said earlier and wondered if he had actually revealed that information. Before he could ask how Shin knew about it, Shin told him that if he revealed the bomb's location to the assassin, they could easily disarm it, leaving Ando without protection. Ando smirked at this and asked if he thought he could threaten him, calling him a little snot. Shin seriously told him to shut up, and his life is on his hands. He said he came to decide whether Ando deserved to live or not. Ando's brow furrowed when he heard these words. Then, Shin asked why Ando had ditched him, to which Ando fell silent for a moment before responding that he hadn't ditched him, but rather had let him escape, calling him a dumbass. Shin was shocked and confused when he heard this, so Ando explained that at the time, he was running JAA's orphanage. He said he didn't have time to raise his own child, so he had entrusted him there. Shin asked what he meant by the JAA orphanage, so Ando explained that it was just a front. In reality, it was a brutal place where they cultivated assassins. The goal was to produce top-notch killers, and their training produced corpses left and right. Ando pointed out that Shin should be grateful because if he had stayed there, he would surely be dead by now. While taking this all in, Shin commented in his thoughts that while he didn't understand everything, it seemed his father hadn't abandoned him after all. He added that he knew his father had loved him. Then, he happily asked if this meant that Ando had saved him, to which Ando responded that it was hard to say as he suddenly drew his pistol and pointed it at Shin. Ando revealed that JAA had been hunting him because he helped Shin escape, and his life had become a disaster. In fact, he said he regretted helping Shin escape and was fed up. But now, he said he could finally purge that regret. Then, we suddenly return to Sakamoto's situation. Here, Aari was irritated because he had been beating Sakamoto for 3 minutes, but he still hadn't lost consciousness. He commented in his mind that the rumors about the Order were true after all. Sakamoto got his attention when he pulled out a pistol and aimed it at him, but Aari just grinned and ridiculed his action. He explained that water resistance is higher than air resistance, so the bullet's force and speed would be greatly reduced underwater. He claimed Sakamoto couldn't hit him from that distance. Sakamoto closed his eyes and soon began releasing non-stop air bubbles. This worried Aari as he quickly realized there was no water resistance inside the bubbles. Sakamoto fired his pistol through the air bubbles he created, and because of this, the bullet's force and speed weren't significantly reduced, solidly hitting Akari's left shoulder. Aari was shocked by the pain, causing him to release his anchor weapon and forcing him to surface. While crawling and coughing beside the pool, he commented in his mind that he had underestimated Sakamoto. He asked himself who would have thought he would sacrifice his last breath. Soon after, Sakamoto also surfaced, immediately catching Akari's attention. As Aari turned around, Sakamoto quickly moved behind him, and after briefly winding up, delivered a swift right hook that sent him flying into the water slide. The force of Sakamoto's punch sent Aari sprawling to the highest part of the water slide. Aari coughed and gasped for breath, but before he could regain his composure, he heard Sakamoto approaching again. Soon, Sakamoto reached his location and delivered a heel kick to his face. Following this, he showered him with punches, and after delivering a powerful right straight, the slide broke and the section where they were began to fall. Sakamoto pushed Aari out of the falling section, and while still in the air, he spun and wound up. Then, he gave Aari a spin kick to the face that sent him crashing to the ground, shaking his universe. The impact was so powerful that Aari crashed through the floor and fell where Ando was, landing on top of him. He apologized and asked if he was heavy, to which Ando angrily replied for him to get off his back. He angrily responded that Sakamoto would pay for what he did and that he would beat him severely. Shin was extremely shocked when this happened, and soon began trembling and laughing. He turned around and tearfully asked what had happened to him, and it turned out Sakamoto had arrived there and responded that nothing had happened to him, he had just took a little dip. And there you have it. Aari was no match for our legendary assassin. Now that Shin knows his father's true feelings towards him, what will his decision be? Will he help Sakamoto kill him, or will he still forgive him? Let's find out in the next chapter.